I got a job out of the house when I was 15 because everything was kind of a little nutty in the house, and at a sleepaway camp. So I was, it was a residential position. So, and then kind of 2 weeks in, I realized that I was having all the same problems. So I got myself a journal and started kind of writing about, the things that were coming up, and the things that were annoying, and the things that were kind of persistent. And it was 10 years later when I made a journal entry and said, that's a poem. That's not a journal entry. That's a poem. So it was kind of an accidental poet in that way. But yeah, so I just kind of kept the journals going, but now there are more poetry journals than and it led up to the book that I released in 2002, Sound, Scent, and Light. And now I'm working on a second project 22 years later. So yeah, I've really taken, it was just this year that I started taking classes. We've got a new facility here in the county called Right On Door County. And I've been taking workshops there. And, so that's been the beginning of my formal training in writing. They weren't all poetry workshops. But yeah, it's something I really enjoy writing. Aldo Leopold was a big early influence. Lauren Isley was another huge influence. And I think through Aldo Leopold, it kind of influenced my writing in general, and not just as separate poetry, because, Sand County Almanac was such a beautiful work, and it was basically a story that was told, but in a very poetic way. So I've kind of started there with my influence started there, then that also very opinionated politically and environmentally, and a lot of that, and psychologically, and a lot of that shows up in my work as well. Well, I was really honored to be asked to be here, and currently without a poetry group, and this you guys are it. So I'm really it's a blessing to participate, and so yeah, I came up with and going through the poems and just where I'm at in my life right now. I was working in social services for like probably the last 17 years, up until like a year and a half ago, and then completely stopped that, went back to doing stonework and carpentry, and kind of realized of a stifledness in my work and in my process as well, and was kind of feeling the effects of that pretty hard in different ways in my life. So it was funny going through these poems, reconnected me to a time, and I think I figured out when it was that I backed off on the growth, and as well as the depth of my poetry, I guess I could say that. So this is like a real mixed bag. I have a file on my computer that says writing, and in there was so this is all taken from recent works, but the file's quite old. But there's some new stuff in here, and there's some stuff that would totally surprise me that I read, like, I wrote and basically didn't revisit. So the one I'm starting with is called Words. I look around for words to tell you, and I see there is one flying to you now. Rejoice in what arrives. Stand open, welcome it in. Make love to it with no sense of time. Make gifts of all it will take. and then I'm live basically on an island. So when I'm about 3/4 of a mile from the beach, so the beach here, I walked a lot. And one year there was a huge shift in the height of the lake. So the waves exposed several layers of what were once temporary permanent shore. So kind of walking along and seeing that, walking the beach amid distinct layers, shelves of sand with particular groupings of plants of corresponding ages. The sprawling layers lie naked, offering their ephemeral bodies to the lake. Took a dance class in one of the central Wisconsin cities here during a contact improv, a workshop. And this one is called Silent Calling. So movement in space, an open gate mirroring my wounding, a crack in the floor, a pain born into, body still as toes explore the crack. Moving from that focus, yet still connected to that fracture. Leaving it is freedom. Yet, at points, I find myself looking for that dark connection, a silent longing for sadness. And then, well, I was in Indiana. I lived in Indiana for 10 years before I came here. And I took some Reiki classes, which is amazing work. I mean, it's an inherent quality of every human being, but to focus it through training is quite amazing. So then this kind of reflects the process a little bit, and it's called Dancing in the Heart. Heaven and earth dancing in the heart, shadows invited and embraced. Heart's cup swells and breaches its brim. Compassion spills, flowing to the hands, doing the selfish, selfless work of unity. And then, and this one I wrote here. As was one night, I was living on the other side of the peninsula and took my dog for a walk. It was raining, drizzling, and I just turned my video camera on, and basically it was like an hour's worth of poetry that came out. Some of it was awful, but some of it was quite amazing. Some of it I really appreciated. So this one is called Chewing Holes. The holes we chew in the earth, cancer chews in our bodies. If we are gentle, if we are loving to this earth, there would be nothing of our creation to bite us back. As we consume our planet, cancer consumes our lives, turning vitality into lethargy, making land of forests, making barren land of forests, poisoning rivers and aquifers, stripping mountains from landscapes. How different is that from removing the breast of a mother? It is a mirror of our actions. If we covered sweet land, we have covered sweet land with our nightmares, laden our bodies with heavy metals. Whose tune do we march to? Accepting such destruction for higher returns on our portfolios, gnawing for lithium, coal, gnawing for iron and copper. intravenous extractions of oil. They look so pretty in the shop windows. And this next one is, talks to the fact that a lot of times the things we don't heal in ourselves, or the unhealed scars of our youth, unchecked, become gifts that we give in our adult life. Unmarked scar. It is like an unmarked scar you invisibly draw on the body of the one you love most. It bleeds just a bit more than the Genesis wound. Is blood really shed? Or can we file such things under dramatic illusions, the fruits of which can only be tasted by those in need of that particular flavor of trauma? Without recognition, relevance is lost, energy discharged, interest never found. Such is the blood-soaked note that sings to my past while pressing its sharp edge into the unborn of my future. So much invested in this little world of wounds. Flesh is only flesh. A knee will have to buckle. A tear will have to soak lashes at some point, though it may take a lifetime or two. This one, my mom had this real annoying saying, and it wasn't really annoying, but I found it extremely annoying as a youth. It was she'd come in all chipper, which was a big mistake in the first place, and say, "Today is the first day of the rest of your life," and I'd be like, "Oh God," So, but it came to take on a different meaning, and she passed like a year and a half ago. So, it's called The Rest of Your Life. My mom would say some mornings, "Today is the first day of the rest of your life." I thought it odd growing up. I didn't really grasp the meaning or the need for such a statement. Yet, today, I feel it strongly. The webs of old thoughts, the gaps between heart's vision of my life and my day-to-day reality. The phrase echoed in my head this morning, tapped my desire for such a new beginning. So, as the sun was just reddening the eastern sky, I found myself stating that this is, in fact, the first day of the rest of my life. Let's see. I wrote this when packing from a failed relationship. So tethered. The everyday cups and plates were mine for the fourth household, third relationship. The box with my treasures, it was never opened in this house. Ideas vast and alive, I have not bothered to form. Nothing of value, save the ribbon that is tied to the pain hiding in the shadows of my heart. It's so funny. Some people, believe in all this deep spirituality, how, unity, quantum physics, the whole thing. And a lot of folks are just like, trying to pay rent and not really paying much attention. So all to lose. What if it is real? If beneath all our misconception lies a place of infinite possibility, a place of true unity. If we never take that leap of faith, if we never open such a space in our hearts, we have it all to lose. So this is another environmentally one. Thin gray clouds cover the night sky. Droplets of rain peck at my cheeks and eyes. In the still of night, swayless branches form hearts against the night sky. Why does this vision not bring me to my knees? Abundance silently waits for the bending of a knee. In the absence of this bend, I struggle. I stumble stiff-legged into my nightmares, for they are all that is left, nothing more. And that was something I realized recently, that the absence of gratitude was a huge roadblock for me in my spirituality. And that, and that goes back to the various grudges of my youth with different events. Rain's rain. So it's R-A-I-N and R-I-G-H-N. So I guess you're going to have to guess which is which, because I'm not. So, yes, rain down upon me. Your rain is just that. It is the rain of the earth. Blessed are the rains, for they rain upon the earth. And as we bless the rain, as we hold it sacred in our hearts and hands, the rain will feed and nurture us deeper than anything that we can buy. And from the same time, this is a prayer. I just realized it was a prayer. It was a tree's prayer. A tree's prayer. So, it's a tree's prayer to man. Acknowledge the beauty of my form. Harvest me, yes, but bless my soul. And with me, build your highest vision. Yes, take me in that way, in proportion to my existence. Leave a core of solid beauty that will always thrive. Then build your dreams with me. This is my gift. As my leaves gift the soil, so with my form, I gift your highest vision. This one really surprised me, and it goes back to a very short relationship I had that was very, whoa. So anyway, but it really touched into some of that a very wounded inner child, I guess I could say. Another deeply angry poem about sharing childhood with an adult who eats souls like salty chips on a steamy August night. I can feel such debts in my genitals, like the filth on unwashed untouchables. And this is another one from in the same ilk. The shrapnel of a battlefield rages loudly in my head. Her hand cradles a gun. Careful what you say. Trigger finger twitching. What trick can I use to please? Didn't I clean something or break something else trying? All that's left is my banished soul. So this next one is relates to media, our corporate propaganda machine. I'll just say it. I'm including NPR in that mix. Sorry to offend. It's called Mad Dog Snapping. Meter will leap at you like a mad dog snapping at your woundedness, punctuating your face with bits of foamy saliva as your eyes shiver in the moist heat of its breath. Towers explode, Jackie O crawling on the trunk, John Lennon shot dead within the confines of the Dakota, Martin Luther with his voice pressed tightly against the prophets of war, Princess Di with her Arab lover and her steadfast seat against the brutality of war. It once took days. Now our history is swept away in hours, if we get to see it at all. National versions of news only make the history books. Laughable in other countries, to us it's hard news that most stake their lives on. If you want to make a buck, write a book that proves the lie is real. You will be rewarded well. This one, Truthless Silence. For me, coming, for my trauma journey, unchecked, led to silence. It led to me led to a great fear of showing up. So, and this is a reflection of that, a sense of that. Silence pours from a shut mouth, clenched jaw, tired eyes screaming the desires of a silent heart. You, from the love that you hold for me, toss a guess that you hope will soothe. It falls short or in opposition to my unspoken desire. But something was spoken, an opinion presented. I run to it as if my life depends on it, agreeing to all. I buy in like an indentured servant buys his freedom, willingly extruding my energy into this random foreign form you hoped was true for me. In time, I will leave you. Under my breath, as the door slams, I'll call you a controlling bastard. Invisibility maintained. Uh-oh, there's no more poems on this feed. So I'm going to try to find the poem that Stephen and I worked together on. Okay, this is called, Risk was the published name on it. And what I was doing is I was taking the scenic route down the shoreline, going from Door County into Kewaunee County. It is just a gorgeous winding road, through orchards and cornfields and just beautiful countryside and a few quaint towns with tons of marinas. So it's just, originally from the Hudson Valley and Long Island. So orchards and fishing towns are pull on my heart pretty strong. Risk. Colors creep up and glisten in the setting sun. Heron, geese, and gulls cross the sky, painting clouds, shades of red with wingtip brushes. Beauty gazes at me from every turn. A long, distant ridge, as if from a time beyond our own. White masts stand out against the red sky. Crops larger than I would think possible spin gracefully in the wind. Driving south along the graceful coast of Lake Michigan, I come across the Kewaunee Nuclear Power Plant. Employees were lined up at the security booth. People in cars were checked and rechecked. War, random bombings abroad, and the backdrop of 9/11 makes this scene make sense not to take risks. Huge chunks of limestone now circle the plant from an earlier time of threat. My time in Northern Door rushes through my mind. I feel my face moistened as wind-driven waves pound pocked cliffs that hold countless fossils. Cedar trees brace the wind, clutching rocks with roots. Joyfully, they drink life from the spray. Sandpipers getting chased by waves to then chase them back into the lake, all the time searching for a snack. Nearby gulls pick through piles of lake salad left along the beach. From rocky bluffs to the sand beneath my feet, life bursts from every pore of this sliver of land, this plate of limestone, marching out into the lake. With wind, will pound, and without, will gently hug the fertile shores of this peninsula. I have taken some time away from the chain stores and fast food, but the world at large has not taken even a cat nap. The radio gives death tolls of another bombing. What could a well-placed bomb do at the Kiwani plant? How many people, animals, birds, and fish could perish or live shortened, tortured lives? What if the only target available was a long line of windmills? Why do we risk catastrophe? Does it make sense to pick apples with dynamite when all we really need is a canvas bag and a wooden ladder? Thank you very much for your attention and your ears.